Australian made and owned, Hi-Tech Oils is one of the largest oil blenders in Australia with a truly national profile, supplying an extensive range of oils, coolant, grease, batteries and much more for all businesses and consumer needs. Choose Hi-Tech Oils for peace of mind.
On today's show, we head over to Europe for some world-class motorsport. First up, we head to the French Alps and to the Serre Chevalier resort as the 2018-19 Andros Trophy marches on with round 4 of the 6-round series. Then we jump across the channel and head to a foggy and damp Brands Hatch circuit in the UK as a brand new season of the British Touring Car Championship gets underway with the opening 3 rounds of the 2019 season. This is Speedweek.
Serre Chevalier, the venue for round 4 of the Trophy Andros, and we're just a couple of hours from Grenoble. We're close to the Italian border and the ski resort of Serre. Again, as we've seen so far every weekend this season, perfect ice conditions, busy racing on Saturday evening and then a full day of action on Sunday. We'll start with the elite final Saturday evening. The poleman Dorian Boccolacci in the BMW holding off a charge from Lionel Daziano, eases the Renault driver outright. Through goes Emmanuel Manuel, and then Louis Gervasson in the Audi. He also squeezes through into 3rd place as Lionel Daziano got eased down from 2nd to 4th place. Gervasson chasing Emmanuel Manuel. Lap 306, Dorian Boccolacci pulling away fast now, 3.9 seconds clear of Lionel Daziano. Daziano with Gervasson making a bit of a mistake there and leaving the door open for Emmanuel Manuel. The Renault driver can't quite get inside the Audi for 3rd place, can't recover that position. And Sylvain Poussier closing in. Closing stages, the leader's long gone, checking out to Lionel Daziano in the red and grey Audi, leaving Louis Gervasson to battle with Emmanuel Manuel and the ever-closing number 2 machine, and that is Sylvain Poussier in the Peugeot. Dorian Boccolacci well clear of all of this, could have a 3-way battle for the 3rd podium spot if Gervasson makes another mistake. Last lap for our drivers, Daziano clear of the battle for 3rd. And there is your leader, Dorian Boccolacci, flamboyant and drifting his way through towards the finish. Stationary car notwithstanding. And Boccolacci with all the visibility he needs and plenty of time to use the BMW's clear advantage here. Fast in qualifying, fast in the final. Nobody got close to him. Dorian Boccolacci feeling no pain here Saturday night in Serre Chevalier. Checker flag awaits the 20-year-old who had only expected to be racing up until the Christmas break. Victory for Dorian Boccolacci. He found a little bit more budget to keep going, and it's just as well he has. He is absolutely in flying form, scoring more points than anybody else on day 1. Lionel Daziano, Emmanuel Manuel, 2nd and 3rd in the points, and they're joined on the podium by Margot Lafitte, the top female driver. So the final results for Saturday's elite class, Dorian Boccolacci, Lionel Daziano and Louis Gervasson, the podium finishers, but Emmanuel Manuel only there in 4th place because he got eased out of 2nd in the first corners. He had scored more strongly in the qualifying runs, and as a result his points total actually higher than Louis Gervasson. So Manuel, 3rd place overall in points for the day, 2nd tied on points with Daziano, but he came behind him in the final, so Daziano shown as nominally 2nd place there. Close, though, behind Dorian Boccolacci. And Boccolacci is starting to creep away now in the point standings. Louis Gervasson 18 back, Lionel Daziano 33 adrift, just 3 ahead of Sylvain Poussier and Margot Lafitte, with Emmanuel Manuel really starting to struggle. His season has not gone the way that he'd hoped, and he is losing touch with the leaders. In the electric race, the poleman once again, Christophe Ferrier, the former multiple champion, in great form in Serre Chevalier. Mathieu Vazevière, single-seater race turned sports car racer, and Louis Gervasson battling for second and third in the first few corners. Gervasson's white and blue machine squeezing through into third place. Vazevière much more at home racing world endurance prototypes around long events than on these short, sharp sprints, but always a competitor in everything he drives. With a very illustrious junior single-seater career behind him, giving chase to Christophe Ferrier. Ferrier so familiar with the vehicles, particularly compared to his closest rival in this one, Mathieu Vazevière, and the flamboyant style of the poleman and the race leader, allowing him to just ease away a little. Vazevière, though, finding his feet very quickly on the very different surface of the Trophy Andros ice racing. Very different from him to be racing an all-electric vehicle as well. No longer the howl of a V6 engine behind his ears as he has in his sports prototype career. But he's definitely finding his feet superbly here. Louis Gervasson in third, Vincent Beltoise in fourth, and Sacha Prost in sixth position behind Louis Rousset. Great onboard here, shows just how hard it is to see when you're following the leader who's throwing up all the ice crystals. Midway through, leader Christophe Ferrier easing away, leaving Mathieu Vazevière to try and deal with Louis Gervasson behind him. Gervasson in the ALD machine, keeping him very honest, making sure that Vazevière can't just relax or really focus on chasing the leader. At the hairpin, it looks as though Vazevière is much closer to Ferrier than is actually the case. Ferrier on the brakes and crawling round the hairpin as the others arrive at speed. Midway through, Vazevière, Gervasson battling for second. Ferrier still there, but just easing away, further away, corner by corner, lap by lap. Vincent Beltoise and Louis Rousset ahead of Clémentine Lost. So we've lost Sacha Prost. He's dropped out somewhere. And with these blind corners, the high ice banks and snow walls in between, hard to see. Last lap of the race, and our race leader, Christophe Ferrier, 2.9 seconds ahead of Mathieu Vazevière. Vazevière drives off the corner now, shaking off Louis Gervasson in third place. But it's all about Christophe Ferrier making the series his own. Mathieu Vazevière with a very different line. Ferrier keeping the speed up, losing a wide sweeping arc. And Vazevière behind him, much more of a traditional style racing line. Getting used to pitching the car sideways, but look at the style of Christophe Ferrier. Constant drifts around all the corners. And heading towards the checkered flag once more at the front of the field. Yellow flag is out because there is Sacha Prost's car. Buried nose first in the snowbank, luckily right out of the very slow hairpin, so they've all got a chance to avoid him. Checkered flag is out. Victory again for Christophe Ferrier. Second place, Mathieu Vazevière. Superb performance for him, ahead of Louis Gervasson. So, sixth win in a row for Christophe Ferrier, winning the qualifying heats, the races, and the fastest lap everywhere so far, apart from fastest lap in Andorra. And on the podium, Ferrier, Vazevière, Gervasson, and Clémentine Lost, the top female driver. So, confirmation then of the final on day one for the Trophy Andros Electrique. Christophe Ferrier ahead of Mathieu Vazevière and Louis Gervasson. Vincent Beltoise, Louis Rousset and Clémentine Lost rounding out the top three. And Sacha Prost's car ending up in the snow barriers. So Ferrier with the fastest lap and victory in the final and the most points from the qualifying heats gets 37 points, a perfect score, further 4 ahead of Mathieu Vazevière and Louis Gervasson in third place, 3 more back. All of which means that Christophe Ferrier is easing further away from his closest rivals. Vincent Beltoise didn't score quite as strongly there as Louis Gervasson, still in second place and still 32 points behind. If Ferrier has a disastrous weekend, this could all turn around. We've now got 4 race weekends in a hurry, so Christophe Ferrier needs to keep up the pressure. Nathaniel Berton, fourth on the grid for the Elite Pro Super Final Saturday night. The electric car of Aurélien Panis is there, 31. He's third, on board with Franck Lacourse. His electric car gets a little clump there from the pole. So to Jean-Baptiste Bourg, the reigning champion in the number 1 Renault Captur. Green car, Franck Lacourse in second. The yellow car, Aurélien Panis in third. Up to fourth place, though, has sneaked Benjamin Rivière ahead of Nathaniel Berton in the Audi. So Dubourg leads in the number 1 car. Then the green machine. So the 2 electric cars, second and third there, Panis. But Panis under real pressure now from Benjamin Rivière. Rivière, another of the petrol engine cars in the Peugeot, but he is all over the back of Aurélien Panis, gets a really nice drive through, tight line. Can Panis hold on to third place? Leader Dubourg starting to creep away from Lacourse. Panis still in third, and he's shaken off Benjamin Rivière for the moment. Nat Berton there with the green highlights, ahead of Olivier Panis, carrying lots of weight after a very successful weekend a week earlier in Isola 2000. He gets success ballast for winning here, 60 kilos. On board with the near silent electric car of Franck Lacourse. All you can hear is the wind rush and the studs scrabbling at the ice. Little bit of transmission noise, little bit of electric gear whine as well. Oh, trouble for Benjamin Rivière. He's hit an ice bank, I think, and that has just broken the steering. So Rivière is out. Well, he was in fourth place. Midway point, though, he is out of the equation. And the race leader, Jean-Baptiste Bourg, the champion, ahead of Franck Lacourse and Aurélien Panis. The yellow flag is out. And that'll be because of Benjamin Rivière's car stranded. Jean-Baptiste Bourg pays good attention to the flag signals and safely negotiates his way through. Last lap of the race for the champion, Jean-Baptiste Bourg, safely ahead. Second place, Franck Lacourse, Aurélien Panis in third. So the petrol engine ahead of the 2 electric cars. Such a different noise as they come across the line. And Jean-Baptiste Bourg very happy with that. Scoring strongest in the qualifying as well. So on the top step of the podium ahead of Franck Lacourse and Aurélien Panis. Dubourg bouncing back into top form in Serre Chevalier. The champion winning the final from Franck Lacourse and Aurélien Panis. Nat Berton, Olivier Panis, Aurélien Comte, Nico Prost and Benjamin Rivière, with the broken car finishing in last position. And Dubourg scoring strongest in the qualifying heats as well. That's why he was on pole for the super final in the Elite Pro class, and so that just adds to his points tally, as does the extra point for fastest lap. Franck Lacourse, his closest rival from Aurélien Panis, and Nat Berton with Olivier Panis in 5th position on the opening day competition. Benjamin Rivière and Aurélien Comte in the Peugeots, as the teams form up pretty much in team order. Jean-Baptiste Bourg retook the championship lead from Aurélien Panis last weekend and now just creeps away a little. And Panis the same distance ahead of Franck Lacourse as he is behind the leader. But that could all change in one weekend. Glorious weather for racing at Serre Chevalier on the Sunday, but ruts starting to appear in the track, and that will definitely affect the way the racing lines are working. You can easily find yourself tramlining around here. Day 2 of Trophy Andros action from Serre Chevalier, round 4 of the series. Louis Gervasson and Mathieu Vazivière on pole for the electric race, from Louis Rousset and Vincent Beltoise on row 2. Row 3, Christophe Ferrier, surprisingly low down after qualifying, and Sacha Prost. Then Clémentine Lost, Guillaume Play and guest driver Sandy Cherchev. Ready for the start with Mathieu Vazivière. Away we go, looking across immediately to Louis Gervasson, the pole position man in the white car. Vazivière in the green machine. Little contact between them. Gervasson keeps the door shut. Vazivière in second and trouble behind. Number 2, that is Beltoise into the back of Louis Rousset. The white and green car eased out wide, and now there's a three-way battle. Looks like Sacha Prost has come through to third. There's Louis Gervasson right behind Mathieu Vazivière. It is Prost in third. Fourth is the champion, Christophe Ferrier, just ahead of Vincent Beltoise. Number 6 ahead of number 2. Battle for the lead as Vazivière tries to find a way through past Gervasson. There's Prost in third. The darkest blue of the cars, contact, and again Gervasson shutting the door robustly on Mathieu Vazivière, who really got in underneath him. Entertaining first lap all round. Heading into the closing stages, Gervasson leading from Vazivière now by a comfortable margin. It's all about the battle for third. Sacha Prost in third. Christophe Ferrier in fourth place. Prost overcooking it a little there. Ferrier likewise, though, makes a similar mistake, maybe caught out by the ruts. And the leader is now right up behind the guest driver, Sandy Cherchev. That opens the chance perhaps for Vazivière if he gets really held up. Yellow flags are out where he squeezes his way through. So great work there by Louis Gervasson to get free just in time. He'll head to the checkered flag, still in front of Mathieu Vazivière. Checker flag awaits Louis Gervasson, last lap of the race, and he's down to the hairpin. Blue flags waving again at the guest driver. Mathieu Vazivière now suffers in his turn, he can't get by. Checker flag is out, victory to Louis Gervasson. Mathieu Vazivière in second, and Sacha Prost not far behind in third place. Christophe Ferrier in fourth, just off the podium. Well, victory there for Louis Gervasson. A couple of very solid moves by him to hold off Mathieu Vazivière. Shut the door a couple of times when Vazivière was right alongside. Vazivière then ending up in second. Sacha Prost on the podium in third, ahead of the reigning champion Christophe Ferrier, with Louis Rousset eased out of the first corner, fighting his way back in the end to fifth position. Clémentine Lost, the top female driver, so she'll be on the day's podium as well. 12 points for Gervasson, winning the final, and the strongest run through qualifying as well, plus the point for fastest lap gives him the top score, 37 points, 4 ahead of Vazivière. Louis Rousset third, despite getting eased out in the super final. So at the end of day 2, he's the third highest scorer, and Clémentine Lost will join them on the podium as the top female driver. Christophe Ferrier continues to lead the standings, but Vincent Beltoise, Louis Gervasson, Louis Rousset, Sacha Prost all closing up the gap a tiny bit. Lots more racing still to come. We're only at the midway point of the season. And day 2 podium, finishing with Louis Gervasson, Mathieu Vazivière and Louis Rousset, being joined by Clémentine Lost. Andros Trophy Day 2 at Serre Chevalier, and after qualifying for the Elite Pro class, 2 winners in their 2 respective qualifying runs, Franck Lagorce and Aurélien Panis, but Lagorce's was the quicker of the runs, and so he gets the most points. Eddie Benezet, Nat Berton, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg will join them all as the fastest 7 go through into Superpole. Olivier Panis only 10th, won't be in the Superpole or Super Final. A real turnaround in form for the winner last weekend. Don't forget that the top 3 from the previous day, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg carrying 60 kilos, Franck Lagorce 40 and Aurélien Panis 20, all in success ballast. Let's kick off the Superpole run, saying with Eddie Benezet third after the qualifying heats. Again, he came second in the faster of the 2 heats, that puts him third. Benezet in the BMW, flying across the line. And with the deep ruts, you have to be very careful with the cornering line, particularly when you're fully on the lock stops. Make sure that the front wheels go where you want them to and not where the tram lines take them. Oh, and a tiny little brush on the wall won't have done too much damage to the car. But any fraction may be the difference between coming out on top of a rival and not. Flowing nicely through the little chicane, and then a nice drifting run through the hairpin, getting the power on nice and early, long before you can see your way out of the corner. Checkered flag awaits, and the time is 52.01. That's a nice looking run from Eddie Benezet. Aurélien Panis now in his electric racer. Now, unlike the cars that he runs in the electric competition, the all-electric competition here in the Elite Pro class, this is four-wheel drive, four-wheel steer, a more advanced version of the electric concept, but drifts out wide, tags the snowbank with the rear end of the car. Doesn't look like he's done any damage to the rear alignment, but that will definitely have cost him time. He's trying to keep the pace up, a nice flowing arc around the corner, just ended up getting into the soft earth and drifting out too far. Let's take a look and see what it has cost him. At the midway point, he was behind by 0.428. Still looking quick, Aurélien Panis. How close is he going to be at the line? It's going to be pretty close, and he's just behind. 2700s back, and that puts him into second place. The wailing engine of the normally aspirated Audi A1 Quattro of Nathaniel Berton. And on the hot laps, when it's all clear, you can really see the rear steer working on these cars. See there as he turns in the rears, turning the opposite way into the corner to try and flick the tail around. Makes these cars super nimble even on this low grip icy surface. And again, see the rear wheel steering, then straightening up, and then as he puts on opposite lock, the rear wheels help him tighten the line as well. Nice looking run from Nathaniel Berton, and it looks as though he is going to be up on time. Berton was 1900s up at the split, and he's going to be ahead at the line, surely, isn't he, from Eddie Benezet? Yes, he is, and that is half a second up. That's a great run in the Audi. And Berton likes that. Franck Lagorce, the qualifying heat's winner. Another of the all-electric cars. And he's like Panis with four-wheel drive, four-wheel steer. And the electric cars really very much a match for the normally aspirated, normal internal combustion engine cars. Let's say here the petrol engine cars. And again, great looking run from Franck Lagorce. 777, nearly 0.8 of a second in front already at the midway point. So barring a mistake, this should be an absolute flyer from Franck Lagorce to put himself firmly ahead of Nathaniel Berton. Good day two so far through the qualifying runs. And Franck Lagorce, I think, is stitching himself into the provisional pole. Yes, he is. Look at that, 1.2 seconds. That is huge ahead of Nathaniel Berton. And doesn't he just know it? Here is our triple champion, the reigning champion, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, in the petrol-engined Renault Captur. Dubourg is a real master of the super pole art, having finished off the podium on day one, carrying no success ballast. Let's see what he can produce here. Dubourg heading to the split. And again, this is looking very quick, but not quick enough. 7400s behind Franck Lagorce. So that might make him maybe second at the moment, but if he loses the same amount in the second part of the lap, then he's going to be a long way back. Second, third at the line maybe for Dubourg. Let's see where he's going to end up on the grid. And it is third fastest. A little disappointing. Let's take a look at the points then after Superpole. Franck Lagorce with the strongest point score in the qualifying runs and in Superpole tops the tables ahead of Nat Berton and Aurélien Panis, Eddie Benezet, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg and Benjamin Rivière. Only the fastest 8 go through to the Elite Pro Super Final, so there's no place for Aurélien Comte or Olivier Panis. Grid for the Elite Super Final in day 2 at Serre Chevalier. Dorian Boccolacci, the poleman from Sylvain Poussier. Louis Gervison and Lionel Daziano making it an all-Audi row 2 ahead of Stefan von Tyre and Emmanuel Moinuel for Peugeot and Renault respectively. Joel Lopez BMW M2 and Marco Lafitte's Mazda 3, all numerical on row 4. Julien France with the Mini Countryman ahead of Philippe Bonsard on row 5. Dorian Boccolacci, the previous day's winner, on pole position with the BMW, gets a good launch, tucking in right behind him. His fellow front row starter Sylvain Poussier shutting the door on Louis Gervison with the green highlights on his Audi. Gervison with his nose inside gets a bit balked, and then right behind him Lionel Daziano in 4th place. Tight battle for 5th. Looks like Stefan von Tyre lost out to Emmanuel Moinuel. Should see the red, white and blue of the Renault come through in front of the Peugeot. And there are the Audis in an ice storm behind our poleman. Dorian Boccolacci, the 20-year-old with success ballast from winning on day 1, still fastest. Right beside him though, Sylvain Poussier. Boccolacci just cuts across his nose with the millimetre perfect precision of a single-seater star. Sylvain Poussier 2nd, Louis Gervison and Lionel Daziano, the Audis with green and red highlights 3rd and 4th. 5th place is indeed Emmanuel Moinuel ahead of Stefan von Tyre. He got ahead of the Peugeot driver, but the other Peugeot driver, Sylvain Poussier, under pressure now from Louis Gervison. Gervison drives through alongside him out of the hairpin, can't quite squeeze in. And all of this battling is going to help Dorian Boccolacci. Sylvain Poussier drifts out nicely, and there's no way through there for Louis Gervison in the Audi in 3rd place with the green highlights, though he's all over the back of Sylvain Poussier. Poussier doesn't seem to quite have the drive off the corners that Louis Gervison can produce. Gervison right with him, pushing him now. And it might just be a matter of time before the Audi finds a way through. Gervison again straightening the car off the corner long before Sylvain Poussier can. The two machines handling very differently, and Gervison goes through up into 2nd place. So this might be trouble for Dorian Boccolacci, but Gervison 4 seconds back already after half the race. Poussier in trouble again. Through goes Daziano and Moinuel. I think Poussier, something has broken on the car. Maybe the left rear corner. Didn't look like it was driving off the turn properly at all there. So Audi's 2nd and 3rd. And there's Louis Gervison, Lionel Daziano in 3rd place. And that will put Emmanuel Moinuel in 4th. It does in his Renault ahead of Stefan von Tyre. And then who's behind them? Joel Lopez and Margot Lafitte, I guess. And it looks as though Louis Gervison is trying to chase down Dorian Boccolacci 4 seconds back after the first half of the race. And there is the battle between Emmanuel Moinuel with the red, white and blue and the predominantly black Peugeot of Stefan von Tyre. And there is von Tyre. So Boccolacci under pressure, Gervison closing, and Daziano just ahead of Moinuel and von Tyre. Von Tyre's Peugeot alongside Moinuel didn't get the run there. But this is shades of the battle for 2nd earlier on. Oh, and the Peugeot up on the inside. He's really trying to find every millimetre. Bounces off the snowbank, and that doesn't help him. Stefan von Tyre still harassing Emmanuel Moinuel, and again out far too wide into all that loose stuff, and that's just like glue. It's like a single-seater driver running out onto the grass or into the mud. Dorian Boccolacci leading. Now, has he managed to stabilise the gap? How far behind? No, Louis Gervison has closed another 2nd on this lap. Dorian Boccolacci may not be overly worried. It is the penultimate lap. Lionel Daziano in 3rd, Sylvain Poussier into the pit lane with his damaged Peugeot. Great onboard view from Dorian Boccolacci. The youngster turning into a real star in this elite field. Great style as he flicks it through the chicane, avoiding that really nasty jagged wall sticking out. Down to the hairpin he comes. Now let's see if we can see his rival. Now we need to be looking further out the side window. 1 to go for Dorian Boccolacci. And the gap still 2 seconds over Louis Gervasson, 2.33. And Lionel Daziano in third place there in the second of the Audis. Manuel Moinel ahead of Stefan von Tyre. And Boccolacci has done enough, hasn't he? Staying out front. Joel Lopez in sixth position ahead of Margot Lafitte and Julien France. But it's all about Dorian Boccolacci. Flying round the long, wide right-hander. And then through the little chicane. It's just designed to catch the unwary. The hairpin awaits. The checkered flag beyond it. Closing in is Louis Gervasson, and Lionel Daziano has disappeared. Victory though for Dorian Boccolacci, his 4th in a row. Second place for Louis Gervasson. Where is Lionel Daziano? Disappeared somewhere. Third place goes to the Renault driver of Emmanuel Moinel, and there's Daziano, and through, I think, came Stefan von Tyre for 4th place. Dorian Boccolacci claiming his 4th win in a row in the BMW M2 from Louis Gervasson, with Emmanuel Moinel in 3rd, Stefan von Tyre. Look at that, just a few hundreds ahead of Lionel Daziano as he elbowed his way through at the line. Joel Lopez, Margot Lafitte rounding out the other spots. Dorian Boccolacci with bonus points going to Louis Gervasson for the fastest lap, closing in at the end. So the gap between he and Boccolacci in total points for the day, only 5. Dorian Boccolacci then creeps a further 5 away after day 2 here in Serre Chevalier from Louis Gervasson. Lionel Daziano giving away vital points there on the final lap with a spin, as it turns out. Sylvain Poussier and Margot Lafitte 4th and 5th in the overall classification. Top 3 in our points will also be the podium. Dorian Boccolacci, Louis Gervasson and Lionel Daziano, and Margot Lafitte, the top female driver, joins them on the podium as well. Action from Serre Chevalier and the bike race, the final as ever. A real jostling affair down to the first corner. The poleman Vivien Gonnet has the lead, runs out a little bit wide as everybody else battles for second. Sylvain Dabert, 37, was second into the first corner from 7th position. And he stays in second place. Julien Colombon, the number 50 machine there, running out wide, 3rd place. Battling with 11, Maxime Emery. Emery with the bright yellow tabard on, moving up into 3rd spot. And the lead battle is a tight one as well. Gonnet just ahead of Sylvain Dabert. And then Maxime Emery in 3rd place. Oh, contact and several fallers. 1, 2, 3, 4 down at the hairpin. Everybody up. That'll have knocked the wind out of their sails. Race leader still is Vivien Gonnet, and again drifting out wide, finding some of those ruts. Yellow flags are out down at the hairpin. Everybody remounting and firing up their bikes again. They're made of stern stuff, these ice racers. Maxime Emery in 3rd, drifts out a little wide again, very rutted. It's really like a sandy motocross track, isn't it, with the deep ruts. Vivien Gonnet leading and creeping away a fraction from Sylvain Dabert. Dabert drifts out a little again. And the battle for 3rd, Maxime Emery still under pressure from number 50, Julien Colombon. He's got the green tabard on. And yellow flags still at the hairpin. That's the final of our fallers. The machine not starting. Heading on to lap 3, Vincent Gonnet leading. Several close battles down the field, and the one for second is well alive. Sylvain Dabert just holding off Maxime Emery. Everybody trying to avoid getting out too wide. The deep snow, really bad news for momentum on something as light as a motorcycle. Trying to avoid the ruts as well. And there is the race leader making a look relatively straightforward now as he starts to creep away from Sylvain Dabert with the bright yellow leggings. And there is Maxime Emery, number 11, in third position. It's all about the battle for second right now. And still our faller trying to find some way of getting his machine and himself out of harm's reach. Yellow flags out to the hairpin. It's not really a passing place for the motorcycles though. Certainly hasn't been so far. Vincent Gonnet creeping away. And a big lunge from Maxime Emery. Sees him run out way wide now. Gets a good straight line drive off the corner. Well, Sylvain Dabert was a little more compromised. So does Emery manage to make the undercut here? No, can't quite get through, but it really is well alive for second position. And Maxime Emery looking inside, outside, now he cuts back inside. Little touch as he goes by, through past Sylvain Dabert, up into second place. Now, can he close on the leader, Vincent Gonnet? He might not be assisted by the fact that there are a few more machines closing in. So there is Maxime Emery in second with the Dayglow yellow marker highlights, if you like, is Sylvain Dabert, and Julien Colombard in the number 50 machine right with him. And he too looking to try and ease his way by Sylvain Dabert, and he has done. He's up to third. Dabert down to fourth position. Fighting what looks like he might be struggling for a lack of grip, actually. Sylvain Dabert, not as quick off the corners and not as self-assured and confident under braking. This time he takes a tighter line, sneaks back in underneath for third place. No, he doesn't, didn't get it done. Colombard on the number 50 machine, a little bit more to fire him off the corner. Perhaps that's just the different torque characteristics of the machine. Emery in second place. He's not going to catch Gonnet at this rate. Colombard up to third. Sylvain Dabert right with him, still in fourth. Germain Vincenot in fifth position. He started on the front row, got eased down early on, but it is Gonnet and Emery. Gonnet has gone. Emery giving chase in second. And Sylvain Dabert there in fourth position. And may lose another place perhaps before the end of the race. So I have to see how that works out. 2 to go, lap 6 of 7. And Sylvain Dabert just starting to lose track a little bit of the group in front. And once he loses their pace, then all bets are off. Final lap for Vivian Gonnet, winner of the morning race as well. Maxime Emery in second position. Colombard in third, ahead of Dabert. But it is all about one man now, Vivian Gonnet. Local boy from Serre Chevalier, victorious in the first race, and fought his way very quickly to the front of the second. And he's going to make it 2 wins in the same day. And that's going to have a significant effect on the points as well. Checkered flag awaits the local hero. And Vivian Gonnet makes it 2 wins at home in Serre Chevalier. Maxime Emery second, vital points for him. Colombard third, and Sylvain Dabert in fourth. As they congratulate each other, Vivian Gonnet on the Husky with maximum points ahead of fellow Husqvarna riders Emery and Colombard. And Dabert's KTM just didn't seem to be able to match them in terms of torque or drive. Just didn't have the grip. So Sylvain Dabert just ahead of Vincenot, who started on the front row of the grid. But Vivian Gonnet with the top points from the day in the heats and the finals, ahead of Maxime Emery by 10. And that means that we have a new overall leader in the AMV Cup, the motorcycle category. It is the tiniest of margins, just 3 ahead with a 200 to 197 point score. Germain Vincenot losing more ground here in Serre Chevalier, and Sylvain Dabert also not having the greatest race. An all Husqvarna podium at the end of the day here. Sunday's action completed for the motorcycle racers in Serre Chevalier. Before we head into the Elite Pro Super Final, let's take a look around the circuit here at Serre Chevalier, courtesy of our triple champion Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, and compare and contrast the attitude of the car and the attitude of the driver. Dubourg is so comfortable here with his Renault Captur, just flicks it down the gearbox, turns in, power on, steers through beautifully, makes it look as though it's the easiest thing in the world to be driving this car right on the ragged edge of grip on sheet ice with a little bit of ice crystals over the top. And the studs, of course, give him the grip that he needs. And his fast, smooth, flowing style means that he's really feeling where that grip is. He can get the drive off the corners. But of course, it is a little easier when you're not being showered in ice and banged around by your rivals. What a fabulous backdrop here at Serre Chevalier. And for our super final for the Elite Pro class, Franck Lagorce on pole position from Nat Berton. On row 2 of the grid, we have Aurélien Panis and Eddie Benezet. Panis carrying 20 kilos of success ballast from the previous day, Franck Lagorce 40. And with 60 kilos on row 3 is Jean-Baptiste Dubourg ahead of Benjamin Rivière. Row 4, Andrea Dubourg and Nico Prost. On board with Eddie Benezet, fourth on the grid, Franck Lagorce front right on pole position. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, fifth position on the grid. There's Benezet's BMW, away we go. Good launch from the pole man, good launch from Aurélien Panis as well, but he has the door shut on him by the Audi in second place, Nat Berton. And into the back of Panis goes the BMW, bits flying off the BMW of Eddie Benezet. And around the outside of Jean-Baptiste Dubourg goes Andrea Dubourg. So he's up to fourth place. Jean-Baptiste got held up, as did Benezet. There's Benezet's BMW. Franck Lagorce leads. And a real push from Aurélien Panis to try and get inside Nat Berton. Didn't happen there. So that's the 1, 2, 3. Berton second in the Audi. Panis in the yellow electric car in third place. Behind Lagorce, the leader. Then Eddie Benezet in fourth place. Benezet's car has shed its entire front lower body panel. The BMW still in fourth there. Andrea Dubourg in fifth. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg in sixth position ahead of Sylvain Poussier. And more bits flying off the BMW. Lots more bits flying off the BMW. Eddie Benezet in trouble now. In fourth place for the moment. Has he damaged more than just the bodywork though? Andrea Dubourg right behind him, Andrea Dubourg right alongside him, Andrea Dubourg right past him for fourth place. So Eddie Benezet down to fifth position. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg got sort of shuffled out of the action in the first corner, and he is now behind us as we ride on board with the BMW. The 1, 2, 3 is still the same. Lagorce ahead of Berton, ahead of the yellow car of Panis. And then up to fourth place, Andrea Dubourg in the first of the two Renaults. Fifth position still Eddie Benezet. Up at the hairpin, the lead trio, 1, 2, 3. Dubourg, then Benezet, then Dubourg, Jean-Baptiste this time. On board with JB, chasing Benezet. That's his team boss, Marcel Torres, saying that Benezet has got a mechanical issue. He should be easy to pass. Well, Benezet drifts out wide. No such thing as an easy pass in Trophy Andros. Door handle to door handle. A bit of a bump there from Jean-Baptiste Dubourg. Has he got through? He has. Has he caused any damage to his own car? Doesn't look like it. Was a nice side slap. Through goes the number 2 machine as well. So Benjamin Rivière in the Peugeot pushes Eddie Benezet further down the order. There's Andrea Dubourg, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg behind. Jean-Baptiste has got damage as well. It looks as though Jean-Baptiste is trying to work out on the radio. Andrea Dubourg being told by the team to slow down a little bit, but that could be dangerous. Panis in third place. There's your leader, the bright green car, Franck Lagorce. Nat Berton in second. Panis had a fly up the inside. Andrea Dubourg in fourth. Jean-Baptiste and Benjamin Rivière, fifth and sixth, nose to tail. And Andrea Dubourg's car all in one piece. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg's car has also lost bodywork low down. Lead trio flying away here, Franck Lagorce, then Nat Berton and Aurélien Panis. And again, Andrea Dubourg trying to give his brother a boost here, but Jean-Baptiste Bourg under real pressure. Alright, slow down on the straight line, he's being told. Well, that's easy enough, but negotiating his brother through. Aurélien Panis again flies up the inside of Nat Berton. The petrol Audi and the two electric Andros Trophy racers have very different characteristics. Roughly the same power, four-wheel drive, four-wheel steer, but they just work in different ways. Panis is hurling his round with full abandon. Franck Lagorce leads, Nat Berton second, Aurélien Panis third, as was, but Panis again having another real lunge, getting in so close to Nathaniel Berton. Berton in second place in the grey and green Audi. The all-green Andros liveried car of Franck Lagorce leads the plastic up car of Aurélien Panis in third. One to go. Now what has happened with the Dubourgs? Last lap. All the teams, I'm sure, telling all their drivers on the radios. And Andrea Dubourg has dropped back. Has allowed Jean-Baptiste Dubourg to go through, and Benjamin Rivière has gone straight by as his shadow. That was always going to be the issue for Andrea Dubourg, but the younger brother has done what the team have asked and allowed Jean-Baptiste Dubourg to go through. Lagorce, Berton, Panis. So close here, but Franck Lagorce holding on, using all of his experience ahead of the younger aces, Nathaniel Berton and Aurélien Panis. And they're almost drifting through in formation now out of the hairpin. Checkered flag awaits. It's going to be super close at the line. This was no runaway. Lagorce was never allowed to escape. 6/10 the margin, just 1.1 first to third. And the damaged car of Jean-Baptiste Dubourg taking fourth place. Second win of the season for Franck Lagorce. And another beautiful sunny day in the French Alps. There he is, enjoying his moment and on the top step of the podium. With Nat Berton second and Aurélien Panis in third. Touring car rivals. What if there's a future for Franck Lagorce in the World's TCR Series? That would be very entertaining. Our podium finishers keeping the championship very nicely alive. Lagorce, Berton, Panis all outscoring the current series leader Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, who gained one perhaps vital point, courtesy of brother Andrea dropping down behind him and Benjamin Rivière. Now, with only 2 scoring race weekends remaining, these points are absolutely critical. Franck Lagorce, Nat Berton and Aurélien Panis all outscoring Jean-Baptiste Dubourg. He is still our series leader, but by just 15 points. You get 16 for winning a super final alone. And there are an awful lot more points still on the board. It is super tight as we head to next week's action in Lens-en-Vercors. So make sure you join us to see who comes out on top and who is going to be in the hunt for the title in 2 weeks' time in Super Bess. We'll see you then.
Coming up after the break, we head to Brands Hatch in the UK for the opening 3 rounds of the 2019 British Touring Car Championship.